What's up, y'all? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I want to go over the event, the Yuletide, as well as the Festive Deck of Fate. Yuletide's pretty much over, but I want to mainly focus on Festive Deck of Fate and how good this event actually is when a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but some people are saying it's not really that great. But I want to go over, from a free-to-play perspective, how good it actually can be for you if you started trying to farm based on the different objectives for this Deck of Fate. So first things first, Yuletide Titan event. I want to talk about my account as a free-to-play endgame player. I have gone ahead and went for Sir Nicholas. I overshot it by a lot because I wanted to ensure that I got a duplicate Sir Nicholas. Now, why did I do this? Because I'm endgame, I'm really focusing on certain areas for my account in my progression. So if you're really endgame, you need to focus on things like Faction Guardians. How can you get Faction Guardians, which will help enhance your account, right? So at endgame level, it's harder and harder and harder to acquire really, really strong pieces of gear because we're not spending a ton of money into the game, right? Where we can get an endless amount of energy. And even then, it's not endless. It's just way more than a low spender or free to play. So I've been playing for over 5 years free to play. I only have 2 Sacred Order Faction Guardians now because I had a Sir Nicholas that I pulled around 1 or 2 years into playing, maybe 3 years into playing. I think it was my second year in. And then the second Sir Nick is now, almost 3 years later. So it takes years and years, unless you're extremely lucky, to get your legendary Faction Guardians completely filled. So if you have crazy good luck, then hey, maybe you get them filled way faster than me. But I consider myself a fairly consistent player. Like, I play every single day. I try not to miss anything. You know, sometimes things happen in my life and I do have to miss certain things from quests or objectives, but for the most part, I play consistently, and you should be too, right? So if you're trying to focus on endgame, you're free to play, and you really need to fill Faction Guardians, even if you're spender or high spender and you're into late game, then yes, this might actually be great, because what if you're at defense with 4 out of the 5 of these Faction Guardians complete and you want 10 plus speed? That is really, really strong for anybody's account. And it goes to all of your legendary champions on your entire account if you can get the 10 speed. Now for me, I'm at the second tier, which is plus 10% attack. The first tier is plus 10% HP. So HP is going to be great for Sir Nick. It's not going to be great for... Attack's not going to be great for Sir Nick or Martyr, because Martyr's defense-based, Sir Nick's HP-based. But HP is also good for support champions like Noelle. That's another thing, is I am going for the Noelle fusion, and I will be getting her. And I want to go over some tips here for this event as well, and why it's so good for the Deck of Fate. You saw here a sneak peek, right, of these 2 champions that I have. And I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, coming up to 5, 6, 7, and 8 that I need to level up to 40. So I have 8 of them, which means I'm going to get 2 more, and then I'm going to fuse into Lady Noelle. If you are really close to fusing, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to make sure you pull these 2 epics, which will be a certain amount of points in Deck of Fate, as well as Lady Noelle right now, unless you want to save for Champion Chase. So I, for one, this is only going to work for you depending on your situation in your account. I'm not saying everybody should do this. I'm just saying if you want points towards Deck of Fate, because you're trying to go for this legendary champion, or you're just trying to flip as many cards as possible, then you can do this, or should do this. But you don't want it to hinder you from getting the fusion as well. So if you're trying to go for the fusion, you don't have many shards, then maybe you don't do this. But my recommendation is, if you went for the Summon Rush, I believe it was, and you went for the free epic, basically, not free because you have to use a bunch of shards, but if you were able to use all your shards like I did, you got the free epic, then now I can basically fuse Lady Noelle sooner rather than later. And the only downside is I may not do it during champ training. You just got to be careful with how much time you have left for Festive Deck of Fate. There's a day left here in 4 hours. So in 1 day and 4 hours, well, do we have a champ training coming on? Well, yes, in 4 hours and 18 minutes, we're going to have champ training, which is about 2 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, where I am. Actually, it's about more like 3 a.m. in the morning. So I can start doing champ training tomorrow, or I can try to push the rest of tonight, level up these champions, at least get these two. So when you summon them, you're going to get points towards the Festive Deck of Fate, which is how many points per Void Epic. If you think about it, get champions from any source, non-voids. Epics are 1,400. Legendaries 5,000, Mythicals 15,000, which is pretty insane. If anybody pulled 2x, hopefully you got a Mythical. But the Void Epics are 2,000 a pop. And the Legendary, because I went for Sir Nicholas, was 7,000 for a Void Legendary. That's why I'm currently sitting at 8840, because I got 7,000, and then getting artifacts and accessories also gives you points. Not nearly as much as getting champions and or summoning souls from Soulstones, but the absolute best way to get points here is from summoning champions or getting them from any source possible. So for me, 7,000 just from Sir Nicholas. Can get another 7,000 from fusing Lady Noelle early. And then you can get a bunch from the epics. If you haven't even fused the epics yet, and say you have to still fuse the 4, you're going to get 8,000 points from the epics. So automatically that's what, 7,000 plus 8,000 if you have 4 epics, that's 15,000 plus another 7,000, which is 22,000. That's a lot of flips. 22 flips is really strong. And then you can probably get another 3,000 to 5,000 just from farming dungeons, right? So you're getting closer to 30,000 points, or at least 25,000 plus points if you play your cards right. If not, then maybe you just went for the Sir Nick and got 7,000. You're not able to fuse the Noelle sooner. Maybe you're going to end up having to fuse her at 1 day left. That can happen. So you're going to take off 7,000 points right there. But at least fuse the epics. Get some points, get some free flips. It's very strong. Now, I will say this Deck of Fate really isn't amazing in terms of the amount of rewards you can get from the flips, other than the Legendary Book, the Eternal Essence, the 6-star Haste Glyph is amazing, 5-star Chicken, obviously good, the 1 hour free regear is okay, and the Essence, for me as an endgame player, for an early game or a mid-game player, these are all decent rewards, no matter what you get, really. I mean, obviously not a rare skill tome wouldn't be that great, but unless you're really early game, epic skill tome would be okay early game, mid game. But preferably you're going to want the chickens, you're going to want the haste glyphs, you're going to want especially the legendary tomes. The XP barrel would be amazing. You really, if you can't get the 40,000 points, it's really not beneficial to you to get this guy's points, fragments, because it's just you're not going to get them, right? If you can't get to the 40,000 points to flip them and get them. However, the one positive thing about getting his fragments is that you can take his fragments and then turn them into chests for High Mother Mod. So you get a potential at getting High Mother Mod fragments out of, getting chests from this guy's fragments. So that is the one positive thing I would say about pulling his fragments. But other than that, unless you can complete the Deck of Fate, it's really not the best in terms of getting his fragments. I'd rather just get all the different rewards and then get lucky and maybe get a chest or two if you can even get it. Like if you can get a purple chest and get 1,000, or even this feast is pretty amazing, goes straight to rank 6. Even a mythical tome is awesome, or 10 eternal essence or 300 gems. Not too much of a fan of the mythical chaos ore because half the time it just rolls into garbage substats, but I digress. But yeah, in general, you can get a lot of points from this. Just saying. I think it's a great event here. So like I said, if I were to go in here and I wanted to fuse another one of these chicks, I can, just to show you. I don't think I have enough silver though, that's the issue, and I need another 208,000. So I'm going to do it for the video. I'm going to try to fuse 5-star, I don't care about that. So let's go ahead. Can we summon anything? I don't really care about Affinity Breaker. I mean, it's good gear. Affinity Breaker is good, but I don't usually spend all of my forge material resources on it, to be honest. So if I go back here now and go to the fusion and say we want to just fuse one of these chicks, right? You'll see I'll end up getting the 2,000 points just from fusing one epic because she's a void epic. 2,000 fake coals. So there you go. Now I'm up to what, 10,800? And if I fuse another one, I'll be at 12,000. That's 12 flips, which is not bad. And I will flip on today's video as well. But this is what I'm saying. This is why this event is so great. Because you're getting essentially free points. They're just giving it to you with the Sir Nick if you went for him. I guess it's not free. I can't say it's completely free because you have to actually utilize resources. It's all free in-game activity. But in terms of it just being free, you're spending your time and energy in real life to do this. But you don't have to spend money in order to get 20 plus flips. So that's why I think this is great. Typically, I only get around 6 to 10, maybe 12 flips if I'm lucky. But normally it's like 6 to 8 on average for me. Unless I go crazy and save a ton of resources, which I don't normally do because I'm not that amazing of a free-to-play player in that sense. But because I love to spend and use all my resources. That's just how I am. And I know a lot of players are out there do the same. So I will go ahead and flip these. Like I said, I think it's decent. Again, 10 of these fragments, it's going to probably end up going towards High Mother Mod. For me, another 3, 13 now, again, towards High Mother Mod. Not the best for me. Another 10. So this is where it's not great, right? Because I don't want to get his fragments. I did get 3. Okay, that's good. That's a rare one. What do we get? A legendary skill tome. So there you go. That's beautiful. Because what else could I have gotten from the rare one? 15 of the immortals, a 5-star chicken. Honestly, legendary skill tome is probably the best out of this for me. All right, so I still get 3 more flips. 1, 3 more. So yeah, I'm getting extremely unlucky. I did get the chaos ore, which is nice. I did get these 10 of the forge materials, but I already have tons and tons of this. There's 10 more forge materials. Not amazing. Oh, look at that. Another 3. That's huge. 10 core hammers. Okay, that's probably the worst one out of that. Could have gotten epic book 4-star chicken. Honestly, it would have been better to get the 4-star chicken or the 50 gems because the 50 gems would give me 130 energy over the 100 energy. And the 4-star chicken is just really strong in general for trying to do champion training. So yeah, I got 10, 20, 25, 30, 36 of his fragments, which is literally just going to go towards the fragment summon here. But like I said, I'm going to end up converting him into High Mother Mod fragments unless I get crazy, crazy lucky. And I'm going to try to work towards essentially just fusing up another epic for 2,000 more points, which is 2 more flips. I'm going to be farming more for dungeons. So I'm going to hopefully get at least another 1,000, maybe 1,200 more points. So in total, I'll have a bare minimum. I'm at 840 right now. I'll have a bare minimum of 4 flips because the epic champion, that's a void, and then farming dungeons to get about 1,200 points. So 4 more flips. So that'll get me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 flips right there. And on top of that, if I can fuse Lady Noelle, if I can fuse her, that's another 7 flips. So that'd be 21 flips for me. That's pretty crazy. That's really strong for this event. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How are you doing? Did you even go for the Sir Nick? Are you even going for Lady Noelle? I don't blame you if you're not going for it, right? Because you've got the holidays right now, Christmas. I mean, today is Christmas at the time of this recording. It is 10:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm very tired, but I'm doing this because I'm trying to progress in this game, right? I'm trying to progress as a free-to-play player to still compete in endgame content. Or at least compete in the highest level possible for my account because I am a very competitive player by nature. But yeah, those are the things I would recommend if you're going to go or try to go for this Festive Deck of Fate. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I'm saying if you want to go for some flips, that's probably what you're going to want to do. But then keep in mind, you know, I know there's a champion chase coming. I'm just not sure if you're going to land on it in the right time frame because you'd have to pull Lady Noelle during. It's 5 days, 20 hours. I don't know exactly when. Can I even see her? Okay, let's see when the champion chase is. The 27th. So you can actually pull Lady Noelle during the champ chase as well. And you can get, what is it, like 600 points or 650 points during the champ chase. If you're trying to make up for obtaining some of those epics or the rare copies to fuse into the epics. But personally, I always try to go for the epic if I can help it, so I can skip out on events or tournaments, but not everybody has that luxury. So anyways, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. How can you help another player? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you on a video soon. Take care.